Welcome. Hope everybody's evening has been decent. If you can, come in, share it out. Channel. Check that it's muted. Share Facebook. Tonight we're going to be learning what is metaphysical spirituality. Make sure our StreamYard is up. Make sure our banners are on. Also follow us on Twitch. The scroll to the bottom. This is being shared out to on Bonkers. It'll be on our TV channel next week. I got my hydration of milk. So, what exactly is metaphysical spirituality? The word metaphysical literally means above the physical. All religions are metaphysical to a degree, and they accept various beliefs on faith, not on physical evidence. Metaphysical spirituality is a science, a pseudoscience, a philosophy, and a religion, and is based on the life, teachings, and demonstrations of all master teachers. It seems to understand the invisible, spiritual nature of all life, which transcends the physical, material plane on which we live. So, basically, what it's saying is metaphysical spirituality is exactly that. It believes it's a spirituality and a religion and a science all wrapped up in one. That goes without saying that anything that of the spiritual nature, which is us, like paranormal investigators, we believe in just that. That the spiritual world, the physical world, is not just the ending of the process of life. That metaphysical, we become more than ourselves. Uh, More than 200 years ago, Benjamin Franklin defined a great religion as one that creates the deepest peace. In 1958, Reverend Dorothy Flexer and Russell J. Flexer, realizing a need for deeper peace in their lives, founded a new religion that they called Metaphysical Christianity. Dorothy grew up as a Presbyterian in Pennsylvania, seeking to understand the truths of life and death. In her teens, she recognized and began to develop her spiritual abilities as she studied the other mediums, especially her teacher, Ethel Post Parrish of Camp Silver Bell. Uh, Anybody that has any type of spiritual or uh, gifted abilities, such as those that are clairvoyants or mediums and such like that, they are tapped into the metaphysical aspect of that particular religion. Russell and Dorothy, under the guidance of their spiritual teachers, founded the Shrine of the Master of Tampa in 1947 and the Shrine of the Master Church of Sarasota in 1949 as part of the Spiritual Episcopal Church. They were pioneers of bringing metaphysical teachings to the area at a time when orthodoxy was the dominant religion and alternative teachings were not easily accepted. And especially in Florida, with the Bible Belt area, that metaphysical teachings of any type is frowned upon. I mean, they're basically down there, it is all Southern Baptist, and that um, basically anything that it does not go with conform to the normally of Father, Son, and Holy Ghost is frowned upon. In 2011, sorry, I forgot to put it on vibrate. Yep, my bad. So back to what I was saying. In 2011, so you figure they started in 1947. In 2011, the center's congregation tried to determine what the term metaphysical Christianity properly described in their teachings. The answer, does the term metaphysical Christianity properly describe their teachings? Yeah. The answer is no, as our teachings go beyond those of just one master teacher. They reflect the teachings of spiritual truth as taught by all master teachers of mankind's history. The congregation believed that the term metaphysical spirituality would be more inclusive of a teaching and a belief. Therefore, as of this time, the name of their philosophy had changed. As a science, metaphysical spirituality searches for and investigates and analyzes the principle of life on earth and in spirit. It seeks to clarify and classify demonstrations of spiritual and psychic powers. In other words, if you have any type of ability, such as mediumship, clairvoyancy, uh, empathy, empath, uh, you fall under that particular metaphysical spirituality. As a science, spirit. I already read that. Sorry. Lost myself. I should be keeping scrolling up. As a philosophy, it studies human character, the process of the mind, and the nature of the relationship with others. It studies the law of nature as they pertain to the seen and unseen expressions of life, and has based its conclusions upon observed facts. It emphasizes right living and personal responsibility. As a religion, it offers an understanding of the prime source of the universe, which is the God power and the nature and spiritual law. Alignment with these laws is the highest form of cooperation and co-creation of the prime source. Most importantly, it teaches one how to unite with the powers of the universe to further mankind's progress as well as their own. Metaphysical spirituality, in my understanding of it, is that of anybody that is searching for any type of enlightenment and understanding of the beyond. You can use it as a spirituality of the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. It's the Holy, if you understand the Holy Ghost, that is that small little voice that you hear every once in a while. Don't go down that path. That can be classified as metaphysical spirituality. As a philosophy, you understand, put it in geek form. Metaphysical spirituality would be Jedi understandings. Not that you're going to be able to physically maneuver lift a boulder or something using just your mind, but you understand that everything around you is part of you, kind of like the Jedi. They believe there's a spiritual nature to everything. Though metaphysical spirituality is called a new religion because there is nothing quite like it among the present day philosophies, it is actually one of the oldest religions in the world. It is the pure religion that Jesus taught to his disciples, but which orthodoxy has misinterpreted through the years until its essence was all but disappeared in a cloud of dogma, fear, and guilt. In other words, if somebody had the power to foresee the future, then they would have to live in fear and guilt of someone else knowing that who they were. Hello, Christina. Metaphysical spirituality embraces the spiritual truth in the teachings of Buddhism, Taoism, Confucianism, Muhammad, Moses, Gandhi, and other spiritual masters. Truth is truth, no matter where it comes from. Some of the great wisdom and philosophy of the Eastern religions was endured for centuries and found in the writings of Western scholars and theologians. So, metaphysical spirituality has been around quite long, um, back further than 2,000 years ago when Christ was walking on the earth. Christianity is only 2,000 years old and is still newer than most of the formal religions that are out there. Hey, Sherry. Uh, Um, the New Testament is one of the newest holy books that is around, and it even studies metaphysical spirituality that through the teachings of Jesus Christ are bases on thoughts and ideas he gained from the Eastern, some of the Eastern philosophies. Their teachings have been represented in many other Bibles of the world, such as those of the writings of Patanjali and the teachings found in the Upanishads, and many more, as well as the teachings of the Essences. The Essences were a Jewish sect that participated a discipline of meditation, healing, and spiritual communion with the divine sources of all power. Jesus and his family were all members of the Essences, whose writings were found in the hillside caves of the Qumran by the Dead Sea in 1947. So everything that Jesus was teaching, he was actually teaching some of the older religions that were out there, but kind of putting a spin on the fact that he was the embodiment of the Father. Uh, those who think that Christianity was solely the foundation of Jesus are very misinformed. He studied in monasteries and mystery schools of Egypt, Babylonia, England, India, China, and Greece, and was taught by masters, astronomers, astrologers. Jesus was highly disciplined when it comes to spirit and a spiritual person, and as well informed with the spiritual truths taught in the holy books of Hinduism and Zoroastrianism that go back thousands of years before him. Hello, Phoenix. They all teach the same truth. Not only that, Jesus was a man who worked to overcome the human weaknesses that we all face. To be God in human form would distance him from those whom he came to teach, which is why before Christ came down to the world, he was essentially wiped of all knowledge, all but some knowledge of the afterlife. So he was brought down here to teach the disciples about the afterlife and such like that. Uh, the, the people would not be able to relate to him unless he had some similar background and had weaknesses of the ego to overcome. Jesus was able to put into practice the spiritual truths he learned during the early years of his life. His gentle method of relating to everyone, regardless of position, income, or race, made him an effective and sought after teacher. The Christian Bible is one of the holy books that metaphysical spirituality embraces. The Bible is a combination of 66 individual books written over a 1500-year period. Each book was written for a specific audience, and in order to fully understand the author's message, they studied the political, social, and economic and religious systems that were in place at the time the material was written. The writings of the Bible can be broken down into three basic categories: Jewish history, the very far beginnings of the Old Testament; spiritual teachings and the basic tenets of theolo- yeah, theolo- theology of the early Orthodox Church. So Okay, TV just turned off. Uh, so basically three basic categories: very, very old Jewish history, spiritual teachings within the Old Testament and the New Testament, and basic tenets of theology. So what Jesus was teaching was to love thy neighbor and be kind to each other, and which is already brought to you from Moses on Ten Commandments. Mm-hmm. It is very important to study the important to the study of metaphysical spirituality is the knowledge of the continuation of life beyond the physical and the existence of the spiritual guides and teachers. Most of these teachers have lived at one time on earth and seek through the law of attraction to guide us as we go through the physical journey. Their desire is to help us, but not live our lives for us. So if you think about it, each one of us here on earth is given a path, and that is to follow either the right or follow the bad. And then once you decide on your path, if you're going to stay to the right and follow the proper, or if you're going to follow the left fork in the road and go down the evil path, that's going to determine how you merge back in later on when you pass on. Either you're going to be a good spirit, or you're going to be not so good spirit. Uh, but our physical bodies are here, but our spiritual bodies are the ones that us as paranormal investigators are the ones that we kind of go look after. Um, some of the ways that we can bring our physical body and our spiritual body is through uh, meditational healing, whether it be the hot rocks on the back or the just going to a quiet place and kind of being bringing ourself into ourselves. Um, one of the one of the or predominantly through if you go on and stuff like that is vibrational healing. It is an important aspect of the metaphysical spirituality and others of the sacred sciences brought from the ancient mystery schools. Healing by the laying on of the hands is an integral part of the church service. All are welcome to experience this form of healing. So essentially, laying on the hands of someone that has been around, that understands, kind of kind of like a massage, but not quite a massage type thing. If that makes any sense. Metaphysical spirituality is not just a religion, but it's a way of life. To its followers, it provides a pattern of living and the key to the mysteries of both sides of life. Metaphysical spirituality emphasizes the spiritual principle of a personal responsibility, that we all are responsible for the conditions of our lives. So we are co-creators with the divine power, not puppets on a string, waiting for outside influences to move us in one direction or the other. Regardless, realizing this is a truth being great liberation from the fears of the unknown, and in an awesome awareness that our lives are the result of our thoughts and actions. So, just like they say, with every action, there's a positive and negative reaction. So is metaphysical spirituality. That for every right path that we follow, we stay to the right. For every left that we go, it's harder to get back to the right. So there's the positive and negative reaction. So everything positive will stay positive. If for anything reason you go off on a tangent, it's going to be a little bit harder to get back to the right. But as long as you stay straight and narrow, there's not a problem. Any questions from anybody in the peanut gallery? Anyone? Okay. All kinds of weird things going on. The definition, as per uh, the dictionary, metaphysics is the branch of philosophy that examines the nature of reality, including the relationship between mind and matter, substance and attribute, fact and value. The branch of philosophy that deals, hello, Dolby Socks. The branch of philosophy that deals with the first principles and seeks to explain the nature of being or reality and the origin and structure of the universe. So, the nature of being or reality or ontology and the origin and structure of the universe, cosmology, cosmology, and it is also closely associated with the study of nature, which is epistemology. Uh, Another variation on the definition is the definition of metaphysics is a field of philosophy that is generally focused on how reality and the universe began. An example of metaphysics is a study. Hey, James Geico, thank you for coming in. Is a study of God versus the Big Bang Theory. So, where some to the right believe that God is the only, and He created heavens, earth, and the cosmos, where everybody, the other part of science is saying that it was the Big Bang Theory. that something crashed into each other and exploded out, and that's how we got the universe. So, this is probably not going to be a full hour long, but it was just something short to come in and uh, try to explain a little bit. If anybody has any questions, I'm not a metaphysical expert, but if you want to ask any questions, just ask away. I might be able to give you an answer. If not, I will get off of here because I got to be up early in the morning to go get my DOT physical taken care of. I love working for a construction company. Done. Give me 1 second. I'm back. Um, like Mom Anna Marie said, if there's anyone in here, come in, say hi, let us know who you are. Even though this is only going out to YouTube tonight, so anybody that um, comes in, we kind of see who it is. So, what are people's thoughts on metaphysical spirituality? While I'm doing this, Linda's working on dinner. Nobody has anything to say about metaphysical spirituality. Hello, Chris. How are you today? What are your thoughts on metaphysical spirituality? Would you like to come up? Yes, no. Don't know anybody in California. Yeah, Chris, with where you deal with a lot of the ufology and stuff like that. Anybody that deals with um, metaphysical, such as the um, ghost hunting and stuff like that, we believe in the life after death aspect. So there is, well, I'm trying to add people to maybe come up and give their thoughts on metaphysical spirituality, or anybody that is clairvoyance and stuff like that. I mean, I kind of said my piece. Hey, like Chris says, he believes in life after death. He doesn't believe in a heaven or hell, but he believes in we all go to a place when we die. Uh, so, um, with the religion that me and Linda are believe in, uh, there is not necessarily heaven and hell, but there are places in after you die, and if your spirit has nothing to tie itself to this particular world, um, once you pass away, there's kind of if you depending on how you're judged, you can either go to spiritual jail per se, not quite not quite hell, but you can be tormented uh, in that spiritual jail where there's a darker realm. Kind of what we're explaining. It's that darker realm being the spiritual jail. You're not quite living your best life, and you're not going to. Whereas if you have been on the right the whole time and didn't do anything wrong, then by golly, you're Jesus Christ. Um, but we all know that we've all sinned. If it wasn't for the fall of Adam and Eve, we wouldn't all be here. When darker evil spirits come from, but I do believe they can eventually get out. But yeah, I mean that's kind of the demon aspect of the metaphysical. Uh, where there's uh, back to what I was saying. If you didn't do right, you go into a spiritual jail. Where if you did nothing, well, if you did some stuff, but you repented for it, that your metaphysical body would go to uh, basically the lower part of the celestial kingdom, um, and essentially live a better life than being in a spiritual jail for the rest of eternity. And with metaphysical aspects of nature and stuff like that, uh, just like I said, it's kind of a Jedi force type thing, where if you believe in everything around you that is of the here and now and stuff like that, then uh, essentially, I'm gonna edit that anyway. That's why I took it down. There. Uh, that's why what we're doing tonight is going to kind of tie into Sam's report on Thursday, Wednesday, tomorrow, which is spiritual hunters and breakers. Yes, he did a report on that before, but he kind of updated and added some stuff to the report, and we thought we'd give him an opportunity to come on and basically reintroduce that particular. Uh, so, spiritual breakers and hunters and breakers uh, are those that believe in the metaphysical. So, we, if there's no other questions, comments, concerns, you can. My feeling in life is this is one big school. We go back home to the afterlife. We all meet up and plan the next life on Earth, and we do it over and over again until we get to a point. That could be possible. Um, but yeah, I mean, we all come here to be taught certain things to be able to go back um, where we ascend to enlightenment to a point. Yep. If you think about it, we all came from the old saying that once one spirit dies, another spirit's born, or when one. So, like, say, a couple of years ago, my grandmother passed away. At that same time, uh, another person was uh, being born at the same time that she was passing away. So, with that, it's kind of her spirit left her body and because and either went to heaven or went to spiritual jail, whatever you want to call it. Um, right, that's what I just said. Um, so we were already Rose and one of Linda's clients. They were born and she passed away, and then Rose was born an hour later in the same hospital. So, um, so metaphysical wise, those that believe in the metaphysical spirituality is that Rose was passing uh, Linda's client on the way from, I mean, Rose's spirit and everything was already inside her essentially, but because in her physical body, the Earth and the ET. Well, yeah, you try sending a Saint Bernard through a cat door. I mean, it is a hard place to be born. So, yeah, the extraterrestrials and celestials and telestrials uh, would probably think that Earth is the hardest place in the universe to be born. Okay. So, nobody else has anything to say. I'm not trying to push the, because humans are very different to them. That's what I got told by the ET friends. Okay. So, nobody else has anything they want to put out there. I am going to roll the credits. Everybody have a great night. Check in tomorrow at 6 p.m. for Sam's Hunter Breaker. Uh, we will be in the control room per se, like Chris likes to say, for when he comes up. So check us out tomorrow night, 6 p.m. And then check us out Thursday um, for a live Inner Quartz, where we'll be going over part 2 of uh, healing crystals. I believe that's what Linda's working on. But it'll be part 2. So roll the credits. By the way, Linda's the one that did the intro and the outro. And when you see Sam's tomorrow's intro, uh, me and her worked on that together. But so roll that beautiful bean footage.